Standing Committee to order. We do have a quorum. The first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of February 24th, 2021. Senator Maine, would you make that motion?
So move.
Motion is that we approve the minutes of February 24th. Discussion. Seeing none, I'll place it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Aye.
Senator Weiler, you need a virtual background. It appeared that virtual background didn't come through as well as it should have. I'm going to call the second item on the agenda, Military Installation Development Authority amendments. Senator Stevenson, our budget chair has a lot of other pressing duties, so we'll give him the first slot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'm in the plant business, and the MIDA bill is very similar to what I do for a living because it's perennial. It keeps coming back every year. I've been in the legislature now for 12 years, and I've ran MIDA bills, 11 of those. MIDA is an organization we put together that basically serves as the same function as a community, as a city, and they're able to do the same type of things in providing infrastructure, bonding, transportation, anything that a city can do, MIDA can do, but because of the diversity of the areas that we are in, we have to, there are certain things that we need to do to fix our, I guess fix is the wrong word, but accommodate the various projects that we have going. Currently, we have two of the biggest, in fact, I believe they are the two largest economic development projects in the state of Utah. One is the MIDA project at Hill Air Force Base, which is the Falcon Hill project, which includes all of the development going on the west side. And the other is up in Wasatch County, tied with the military hotel development that's going on up there. And what we need this year, we have some amendments to basically that would allow us to, most of them deal with the tax commission. We've worked with the tax commission to get these funded, or not funded, but reviewed. So first of all, I'm going to walk through a list here, if there are any questions, I would be more than happy to take them. And I believe I have Paul Morris, our attorney and executive director, he should be online with us, I believe. And if there are any technical questions, I'm going to let Paul answer those. So let me just walk through these very quickly. We have the need to share tax information. MIDA does with a tax commission. A city can already do that. We can't, so this clarifies that. We are in an area where there's a resort community tax, which I think there are 12 or 13 cities across the state. And we need to clarify that. That's what this bill does. We clarify how we work with public infrastructure improvements. This bill clarifies private-public partnerships and ties us to allows us to work with some legislation that was passed last year that allows Utah to deal more in the public-private improvements and public-private sector. This adds reference. There's two federal laws that have changed, and this just ties the MIDA projects with those federal laws. It's word clarification. Open meetings and grandma. We want to, in our projects, we want to continue, even after the pandemic, to be able to use online, and many of our board members live at distances across the state. So, and I think we'll have that in another bill later on that's coming up that deals with some of the other land use authorities that we have in the state, which is the Point of the Mountain and the Inland Port. This allows for bodies or members that are, for instance, Lowry Snow or Representative Snow lives in St. George. This allows for him to be able to come into this type of meetings over over the internet and to be able to participate and not have to drive that distance for a meeting. It deals with some bonding, and there's also a former rail line. I'm not sure the funding will come for this, but there's a rail line that goes across the west end of Hill Air Force Base right into downtown Ogden. This is a functioning rail line, and the Union Pacific has declared that surplus. It's certainly wide enough for a bike path or an alternative transportation method to get to and from this project, or to include a light rail process at some later date. We feel that this line should be acquired and possibly to be used for transportation, maybe not now, but in the future. Again, this will be determined by funding available this year. There is, I think, one other item. We clarify that privately owned accommodation facility where MIDA owns a condo, and that's part of the process we're going through, is MIDA would have a condo that would be available to the military, and this adjusts those and takes care of the tax accommodation for that, and it fixes a couple of a mistaken reference to the state auditor for a tax allocation report. And that's what the bill does. It's really just a lot of technical adjustments to the last 12 or 11 years of bills that we've ran to put MIDA together. It was actually formed in 2008, and since then it's proved to be a very effective use for some of these really large projects that kind of have unusual parcels of property. Point of the Mountain as an example, we have a parcel there that's state prison property, and that's because of the effect of that to the entire state. We've chosen to put a land use authority in place rather than to tie it to a particular city. The boards of MIDA are made up of those cities that are connected to the projects. And with that, I would conclude my presentation and take questions.
Do any members of the committee have questions for Senator Stevenson? Seeing none, who in the audience would like to speak to the bill? Do we have any attendees online that would like to speak to the bill? If so, please use the raise hand feature. I see none online. Sir, you'll be our only public testimony, and then we'll come back to the committee.
Sorry, to remove the mask while I'm up here, right?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Kris Campbell. I'm here as a private citizen. Did you catch the name, Kris Campbell? I'm here to urge you to vote no on this bill. I'm not advocating for or against the projects like the Mayflower Resort, even though it's grown from a handful of hotel rooms and a ski lift into a full-fledged year-round resort community with multiple hotels, retail, restaurants that spans 5,000 acres. That area is given oversight to the MIDAS authority and not the general oversight that a county or city would have. Now, it's important to have some public oversight to keep projects like this from growing out of control. This bill has some troubling lines in it. For instance, for the purpose of population census for taxes, it counts units for transient room capacity, even if the units are not constructed. That, in my mind, opens up all sorts of sketchy accounting mechanisms. It redefines public infrastructures and improvements to include privately owned infrastructure, improvements, facilities, and buildings, and then allows property tax to be used for improvements, construction, maintenance, and operations of this public and private infrastructure, including outside the project area. It allows MIDA and its subsidiaries to act as facilitators and developers. It defines the public infrastructure district as a subsidiary of MIDA, and then it allows facilitators, MIDA, the public infrastructure district, to benefit from the public and private infrastructure improvements that they facilitate. It waives conflict of interest, allowing facilitators to directly benefit financially from public-private partnerships and from this development of public-private property. It waives important requirements for public meetings, including removing the requirement for an anchor location for electronic meetings. It restricts important records, including those related to potential conflicts of interest, from facilitation, from GRAMA requirements. I'm unclear about the requirement to remove the report with state auditor, whether that's a kosher thing or not, but it does remove that requirement to report these transactions to the auditor. So this leads me to ask questions like, why all the secrecy? Already, the MIDA is outside of the normal structure and oversight that a city would have. It's asking to have the same tax capabilities as a city or county without the same levels of public oversight, and that is troubling to me.
Hang on one sec, Mr. Is it Kimball?
Campbell.
Campbell. You use the term sketchy accounting. That's a rather and self-dealing. You made several allegations. Do you have any proof of any of that?
I can refer to specific line numbers. Would you like to hear the specific line numbers?
No, you made allegations about the integrity of the individuals, that they
I-
are self-dealing and using sketch. If you want to interrupt me, that's fine.
I'm
I'll
sorry,
turn your
I'm sorry,
microphone
I'm
off.
sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
You made specific allegations about sketchy accounting, and you made allegations about self-dealing. Do you have any evidence that that is occurring?
No, what I am saying.
Thank you. Senator
This-
Stevenson?
This bill opens up the opportunity.
Senator Stevenson, are these projects subject to audit review, and do they
These-
have auditing
these-
requirements?
Every project is subject to audit. MIDA is ran just like a city, and we are accountable. The only difference is the board members, which would be the city council, is appointed by the governor, the Senate president, the speaker, and then we have some members that come on, and every member is an elected official that represents an area that we are attached to.
Thank you. That will conclude our public comment. Members of the committee and the public, when an individual comes and impugns the integrity of the legislature, impugns the integrity of public bodies without any evidence, the chair takes exception. If there's no evidence, if there's no documentation, if these are just intended to create rumor and allegation. Let's bring it back to the committee. Senator Maine.
Mr. Chair, I move that SB 233 move from our committee with a favorable recommendation.
It's an appropriate motion. Discussion to the motion. Seeing none, Senator Stevenson, would you like to sum?
Yeah, I would just take one moment and MIDA is, again, we are an organization that has been proven. We have accomplished a lot for the economic development in the state of Utah, and we have done it with integrity. There are many of us, including myself, that serve on the MIDA board. We've never taken a penny. My travel has come out of my pocket as we've traveled and done things for MIDA. Never taken a nickel. We have, as far as personal compensation for any of the service we provided. We also have, there's another senator that is on that board also. And then we have several members that, again, elected officials from cities representing the MIDA districts, various areas. And we think we've got amazing opportunities here, but I don't see any way that we're taking any money or being able to put anything in anyone's pocket, other than we do have hired staff, just like a city would. And many of us have had opportunity to serve on city councils as mayors, and we understand the process very well, and we have worked hard in the last 12 years not to abuse the process that we have been granted by the legislature or the power. So with that, I would close my remarks and thank you as a committee.
Senator Maine for summation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Consent.